True Value or at Home Depot, everything's gone up. So he lost money. If he actually got his money back, he didn't really get his money back. He got screwed. And then the tax man wants money out of that if he made anything, and you didn't make any money. If he would have bought silver bars, just the plain Jane 10-ounce bars, he would have made money. He would have made some money. He would have done okay. It would have protected the value of his money. But they want so damn much money for that stuff. I mean, you got to be careful what you're buying. I mean, if you want to buy one or two, so that you have like a one from each year, that's what I do. I buy one a year. I don't know if I got one for this year yet. But if you want to do that, I buy them in those holders. But you don't want to buy like rolls and rolls of them because you're not going to get your money back. These coin companies are screwing us. And the mint, they're overcharging too, I think. At one time, you bought your coin, and if you had a good chance of making money on it, now they want all your profit. Leave you with they're selling it to you for way over spot, and there's no way you're ever going to get the money back on that. That's maybe with platinum too, and any of these premier coins, that's what they're doing. And they say, oh, there's only 1,000 of them. Well, I bet I could pick a piece of gravel up off the driveway and say there's no other gravel like this one. That must mean this gravel is worth a lot of money. Piece of gravel. We gotta think, I guess. I mean, there are some times when that works out, where you do make money on it, where you buy something and it's worth a lot of money because there weren't many made. But they're doing this all the time now. Everything is a commemorative. Everything's a low mintage. They're doing it. They're doing it too much. All the coins are commemoratives, and they want a premium on all of them. And when you go to sell them, the coin dealer is just going to give you spot. That's what they're going to give you. So if you're going into silver, if you haven't gotten into silver or gold yet, it's too expensive to be paying a premium on. If this is your first coin, I wouldn't recommend you buying something like that. Figure out what they're worth in spot. Figure out what they weigh. And you're going to pay a little bit of a premium over, but keep it down. Because if something happens where you got to sell that, you're going to lose money. And then you should keep some cash. Have some bonds, I-bonds, so that you don't have to sell your gold and silver. If you got some I-bonds, if your car breaks down or something, you can sell some of that without having to sell silver and gold at a loss. I mean, it's $39 an ounce. I don't really like buying. I don't know if I'm going to be buying that much more silver. Get a sudden crash. Silver crashes with the stock market, and everybody says, oh, that's not going to happen, and it may not, but if it does, and then you need money, you're going to end up selling your silver at $25 an ounce after you paid $39. Doesn't seem like the markets are going that way, but in 2008 that's what happened. The stocks crashed and so did metals. Now, when the markets went down this year, metals went up. So it could be that the metals will go up if we have a crash. I don't know. But what happens sometimes people have gold, silver, they have stocks, they have Bitcoin, they have the NASDAQ stocks, they have ETFs, they have NVIDIA, they have other companies that are in tech that might be kind of high risk, and if the stock market crashes, they're going to get a margin call if they're margining anything, and they're going to get it on NVIDIA. A lot of people are margining NVIDIA, they're margining Bitcoin, and so they're going to get a margin call. They're going to have to either sell their NVIDIA, or they're going to have to sell something else to pay that down, to pay that margin. And a lot of people say, well, NVIDIA, maybe they just bought their NVIDIA or something like that. I don't want to sell NVIDIA at a loss. Or they just don't want to sell it because then they would be a different tax bracket. They pay a higher tax bracket. Maybe they're making money on it, but they maybe had it less than a year. And so they don't want to sell that, but they had their gold more than a year, and they made money on their gold. Well, they sell their gold. They sell their silver to pay for the margin. And that's why gold and silver go down in a crash, because they're selling, not only are they selling, people are selling NVIDIA, they're panicking out, but they're selling other assets too. They're getting out of gold, they're getting out of silver. They figure, well, I made a lot of money on this silver and gold, I'll sell some of that to pay this margin down. And, you know, it's deleveraging. They're deleveraging, and they got to sell something. They got to come up with some money somewhere. I don't think people should be margining in this market. I don't think it's safe. People shouldn't be borrowing to buy stock. That's what caused the crash in 29. They were margining to buy stock. They could do it back then too. They bought all that stuff on margin, and they lost their asses. And yeah, you can make a lot of money doing it, but you can also lose a lot. And so that's why silver and gold sometimes go down in a crash. And that's why it went down back then too. And of course you're getting deflation. Back in 2008 we got deflation. Caused it to go down too. I don't know if we're going to have that, but it's something that could happen, I guess. Again, it hasn't happened before. It could go opposite. It could be that people sell stocks and buy gold. The selling of the gold won't have a real big impact on markets because people are afraid of the dollar. They printed too many dollars, and they think that they might print dollars to pay off the national debt, and that'll make silver and gold go up. Bitcoin too, but Bitcoin I predict is going to get to 147,000 for a high, or it's going to reach the 140,000s, somewhere between maybe 143,000. And when that hits the high, the stocks will hit a high too. And all you need is some little scare, and everybody's margining to buy this stuff because we're in a bull market. They're margining Bitcoin, they're margining the tech stocks. All you need is some scare, and it'll scare everybody out because of all these people that are margining. And so the top could be a sharp top. It could be like a peak, a mountain peak, and it could go right back down just as fast as it went up, in fact faster. All you need is some kind of a scare. The end of that. That could be the end of the markets. And it's kind of hard to call the top.